So the Patriots add a receiver to the mix, and we add another player to our mix. Matt Chatham, three-time Super Bowl champion turned analyst. Matt, what kind of role will Ford have here in New England?
I'm not certain on that one, but my best guess is because Isaiah Ford's had a handful of catches. He's had a little bit of productivity here in this first couple seasons in the NFL. He probably sits something closer to like a Jacoby Myers. And I'm not even comparing play styles here necessarily, but a guy that has had some productivity when he's gotten opportunities, but he's on the roster where, Devontae Parker and Preston Williams and things like that down in Miami are getting the glut of the reps. So he's not been getting the balls, but in the moment where he's gotten the balls, much like you saw last week with Jacoby, makes plays, right? So he's been a productive when opportunities have been their type guy. So my best guess is this is sort of tuning up the back end of that. You're going to come to game day with 4 or 5 receivers.
Now, according to ESPN, multiple teams picked up the phone to check in on Stephon Gilmore's status. The reported asking price, first-round pick, a player in exchange for the 2019 AP Defensive Player of the Year. Even his house was put up on the market, but after 4 p.m., nothing. So he's here to stay, at least for the rest of the season. How close do you think that they were to a legitimate trade?
I think this situation is best understood in sort of the greater NFL sphere, I guess, because it was an unusually quiet trade deadline across sort of the entire map. And I think one of the things that worries teams a little bit right now, we're going into 2021 after this with wildly uncertain cap situation, right? Because there's been no fans all year. There's going to be a cap reset. It might be 25 million, might be 35 million, might be 18 million. I don't know what the number is going to be at this juncture. But I think there's been a lot of sort of sit on their hands kind of stuff from GMs, because the last thing you want to do is go out and throw away some draft equity and pick up a number now, especially one that's got a future contract that pours a year or two into that. And all of a sudden, next year looks like you're projecting it against what you thought the cap was going to be, but then it wasn't. So I saw very little movement, unusually little amount of movement.